Hey folks, welcome to another Why I Dig This, and today I'm going to talk about why I dig this tune. The song of the day is Ordinary World by Duran Duran, and one of my favorites. And let me get comfortable here. Ordinary World was released in December of 1993, just ahead of their seventh studio album, self-titled album, commonly known as the Wedding album. And it was coming at a kind of a turbulent time for the band. The late 80s, early 90s weren't that kind to a band that was like on top of the world, on top of the charts in the early to mid 80s. You know, with they were a mainstay of MTV. They had tons of hits like Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf, Say a Prayer. Yeah, the list goes on. And then toward mid to later 80s, they were kind of struggling a little bit, struggling on the charts, infighting, creative differences, between the band. They had some personnel changes, I believe, starting in the mid to late 80s. With the originals that left were Andy Taylor, guitarist, and I believe Roger Taylor. Not sure which one left first, but they were, around a similar time period. And so it was commonly known that around that period, the mid 80s, they were with the creative differences. Andy Taylor, the guitarist, and bassist John Taylor. No relation between the Taylors, but the three Taylors. They wanted to move more towards something harder edged, something more guitar oriented. And vocalist Simon LeBond and keyboardist Nick Rhodes wanted to, continue with the experimental stuff, the keyboard oriented stuff. And so there was a little rift there. And then the two Taylors, Andy and John, went off to form the Power Station along with Carl Palmer to produce a couple albums that were a little harder rocking than what Duran Duran were doing at the time. So yeah, they even may have had I know they had the personnel changes. They may have had I don't know if they had an official breakup, but they had a hiatus around the mid to late 80s, and then put out a string of albums that weren't really catching on, before Ordinary World and the Wedding album were released, and then that all changed with, they were being written off, and then Ordinary World comes along, change that and become, their most popular album, their most popular tune, their number one tune ever, and made it to the top of the Billboard mainstream top 40 chart at number one. Ordinary World's of course it's a ballad. It's a it started out with their new guitarist at the time, Warren Cucurullo, or he was fairly new. He may have been around for a couple albums at this point, but he had replaced Andy Taylor, who just wanted to do other things and wasn't really happy in the band and wanted to do more guitar-oriented stuff. But Warren came along and Warren was in Frank Zappa's band also, one of his bands. Came along with a beautiful melody in chord production that, everybody's familiar with. What I was doing at the beginning of the video, Yeah. So I just wanted to correct something that I had mentioned. Roger Taylor, no, Andy Taylor and John Taylor, the guitarist and bassist, respectively. Went on to they did a side project like the mid 80s while Duran Duran was still a group, and collaborated with Robert Palmer, the vocalist Robert Palmer, and not Carl Palmer. I mentioned Carl Palmer, who was the drummer in Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So I just wanted to correct that. And then continuing with the intro, after Warren Cucurullo, his guitar opening, that famous riff and melody. Once he finishes that, Simon Le Bon came in, and Simon starts coming in with the first verse, which Simon, once he heard what Warren had done, Warren's melody and chord progression, it inspired him, or it triggered something in him that brought him back to the death of a very close friend, which was the inspiration for the lyrics of Ordinary World. A friend of his passed at a young age. Beautiful, really beautiful verses and chorus. Came in from a rainy Thursday on the avenue, thought I heard you talking softly. I turned on the lights, the TV, and the radio. Still, I can't escape the ghost of you. Just, some really moving lyrics, and this is consistent throughout the song. After another line in the verse, or some people might call it a pre-chorus, then the chorus comes in. So here's a little bit of the intro in the first verse. Still I can't escape the voice or the ghost of you. Yeah, then after the that really gripping first verse, where Simon was, understandably going through a deep sadness and letting go and moving on. This was a way to free himself and carry on, a way to move on and survive in an ordinary world. From the way he described it in interviews. And then once the chorus kicks in, it comes in with a more, I don't know if you want to say upbeat, or a more maybe inspired or hopeful, lyrics. After the haunting verse, he'll come in with, but I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world somehow I have to find. And as I try to make my way through an ordinary world, I will learn to survive. So a way of reconciliation, moving forward, carrying on, as evidenced by the chorus. Now the chorus. There's an ordinary world. Now the structure of the song continues, in a similar manner, verse, chorus, and then sort of a bridge or an interlude comes in, A little bit later in the song, papers in the roadside tell of suffering and greed. Fear today, forgot tomorrow. Oh, here beside the news of holy war and holy need, ours is just a little sorrow talk. And then it goes on with another chorus and then the outro where that Simon Le Bon and the crew are building up to that crescendo. Every world is my world. Any world is my world. And so forth. They repeat that. Beautiful. Any world is my world. Every world. Yeah, this song, especially the intro with the intro riff and, the opening verse and the outro, grabbed me from the first time I heard it. I can instantly relate to it. Having experienced the loss of, some family members and friends, close family, it still has the same effect on me that when I hear it today, There were tough times where, I was wondering how to carry on, and, I just found myself relating to that. I have to carry on in an ordinary world, regardless of who's doing what or what people are doing. I've got to, what things are or aren't, you got to carry on. I never tire of Ordinary World. It's my favorite Duran Duran, and it has to be probably at least in my top 10 to 15 tunes of all time. So there you have it, the tune of the day, Ordinary World by Duran Duran. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll help me with the algorithms, and we'll have more tunes, more other stuff I dig, and take care. Thanks for listening all, and we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you next time. All right, take care. Bye.